5 tips for Stranded Deep that should get you through the beginning of the game. Of any survival game, really. Early on in the game, it's going to be one of your biggest problems. So things like coconuts are probably the best starting option, but they are a limited resource, so you got to be careful. Coconuts, once cut up with your knife, do offer 1 serving of water, and then if you continue to cut it up, it'll offer food with the coconut shells. But be careful with eating too much of it because it'll give you diarrhea, and then you'll be dehydrated again, which is not good. As you can see, you can look at your food and water levels on your watch, which you pull up on console or Xbox with the Y button, not sure on PC. You're going to want to monitor those pretty much throughout your gameplay, but definitely early on, because that's going to be the one thing you're battling for at least the first 2 hours of gameplay, probably. As soon as possible, though, you're going to want to build a water still, which does require 1 cloth, so if you have any, you're going to want to save it for that reason. The best way to get food early on, though, besides the coconuts, will be just building a spear and hunting crab or fish, and a spear is only made with 1 stick, so it's a very easy resource to create. And then, as you can see, hunting's pretty simple, even though I suck.
Oh, gross.
Then all you gotta do is put it on the floor. You have to drop it manually, and then use your knife to skin it, and then just attach it to a fire. Or if you have a smoker or the barrel thing, you place it on top or just attach it to the smoker, which is nice. I'd recommend smoking. Checking your watch, you can also scroll to the right to see any statuses, and as you can see, I got poisoned. So the main takeaway for this tip is don't risk it for the biscuit, which is what I found out pretty hard early. You can get poisoned by sea life or snakes on an island, and getting poisoned in the early game is pretty much a death wish, because to make the antidote, you might not have all the materials like me here, and it definitely sucked. In the next clip, I ventured out early to another island, being way too ambitious, too early in the game. I definitely learned my lesson, because I get poisoned right here, and then I just get bodied by this hog on this island. I mean, he just absolutely bullies me. So, do not make this mistake early game until you are ready to island hop. I would say wait till you have a good raft, some spears, and able to make antidote fairly quickly on the move before adventuring off. Hogs, they're definitely formidable opponents, at least to me. Before getting bullied by that hog, I made the mistake of taking the emergency raft that's given to you in the early game, and I was just getting absolutely bullied by the sharks in the water, because they would just flip my raft over and over, and it took me forever just to cross islands. So my advice is just don't fall into the temptation. Just let the raft go, don't use it unless you absolutely want to, but you're just going to flip a ton of times, and it's not going to be that fun. And then you're in the water with a shark, which is terrifying. This is a big tip. Yucca is probably the most important plant in the game because it gives you the fibrous leaves, which you can make the rope out of, which is used in pretty much every crafting recipe. So definitely do not waste this early game, and as soon as you can, you want to start planting that stuff to just create a farm and have an endless supply of this stuff. You can use it for water, crafting, pretty much everything's going to need it. And it respawns every like 2 or 3 in-game days, so definitely wait for those respawns. Don't just think they're never going to come back. And stormwater helps water the plants, which is nice. Last tip, pretty simple one. Simpler is better when it comes to the rafts. All you need is something to get across islands quickly so you don't get tipped by sharks or just bugged by them. I'm going to show you mine. You can copy that design. Anything smaller works. Too big, you go slower, but you can upgrade later. So simpler is better early on. Top secret tip number 6, please subscribe. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.